I'm excited to be here this afternoon. It's actually one of the first times that I've had to address a group this size and not had all of you in front of me. Not only that, but the longest hair and no manicure. My goodness. It's really fun that all the things that COVID has brought to our table right now and some of the challenges that we've needed to overcome. As Travis said, I've been in business for 39 years in the workspace area. And that means we've seen tons of people come and go through our doors. We've seen everyone from small business and startups. We've seen big companies come in and put a sales or a technical representative in the Minneapolis area. So we've seen businesses from every aspect of their life cycle as they come in. And you know what I've gotten really good at? I'm a really good watcher. I'm somebody who you might call the peeping Tom, maybe the peeping Thomasina, because when you come in, guess what? My staff and I are watching you. We get access to some of the most valuable information. We know about your business. We know when you come in and out. We sort your mail. In many cases, we take your phone calls. We help you put together proposals and things for the clients that you are bringing in. And all of those things give us all kinds of information. You know, back 30 some years ago and almost 40 some years ago, people would come in and we'd think, there's your desk and there's your printer and there's your secretary. And so we were kind of there just in the background, and people didn't realize how much we were doing with them, how much we were influencing them, how much we were watching them. So I like to say, I love to watch people, and I have seen success at work. That means when most people come in, even now, my gut tells me, what's this person's demeanor? What's their attitude? What's their work ethic? And I can predict which ones are going to be on the path to success and which people may need some help along the way. So that's about those are about my secrets to success. All of it comes from watching individuals in our workspaces. We watch them because I noticed that over the course of all of these years, that there are patterns that people have when they are great, successful small business people or people who are working for big companies. They all have the same patterns of success. And we're going to start with one of the first things that I notice is that they have the ability to focus in on what it is that they're doing. Successful people know that their clients are the most important aspect of the business. They focus on making sure that those clients come first. That means sometimes you have to take the back seat or a secondary role yourself because you know that your clients are the most important thing. And that in order to get things done, you need to keep focus in order to meet deadlines. And people have that great sense of focus. This is one of the things that I really have to laugh about in so many different instances. I say that business people need to be able to make a decision. I see it all the time when they come in. What should we do? If you're someone who really can't make a decision, maybe you should be working for someone else who can. Let me tell you a funny story about a group that I went to a couple of years back, and there were probably 60 or 70 people. It was a networking group. I met a young woman who came in and she said that she was just starting her business, and I asked for her business card, and she said, you know what, Lori, I don't have a card. I said, you don't? And she said, well, I couldn't decide. Should I take the blue one or should I take the burgundy one? Here, I'm thinking to myself, there's not a wrong decision there. You need to be able to take that decision. Instead, you came to this meeting with no business card. That's a bad decision. I said to myself, I wonder whatever happened to this young woman and her business, because you need to be able to make a decision. And a lot of things is that if you don't know how, there's two methods I think you can employ. One of the best pieces of advice anyone ever gave me when I was starting in business was make your best guess. So a lot of times if I don't know what to do, and trust me, this last COVID, this situation has led me to make a lot of choices that are on the fly. Take all the information that you can, make your best guess, because tomorrow you can always go a different way. The other thing is, see what's sitting there right there? You can flip a coin, but don't go without making a decision. The worst decision is no decision. Successful people can make decisions. All of us have equal amounts, 24 hours in a day, time. Time is something that we really can get hung up on. And I think that successful people are great time managers, not just good time managers. This is the area in our life with everyone where we have the equal amount. So what you do with it is going to really be up to you. Time is precious. How are you going to get work done? Your distractions. Use your time wisely. If you're not a great time manager, it's very, very helpful to get into a position where you take a time management class, or you really learn to hone in on time and wasted time that you spent talking when you should be spent doing. Break up little bits of time. Make sure that you become a great time manager. You know how people used to always tell you, don't sweat the details? Well, I'm going to tell you that if you want to be a successful business entrepreneur or a successful salesperson or anything that you set your mind in, you should always sweat the details. Look at your website. Look at your branding and your image. What you present to everything and what you say is all about you and how you're building your particular brand. It's all about your image. And that's the pictures that you have, the words that you use, whether you proof those words, when the bills go out, are you timely? How are you going to build your unique brand? You do need to watch those details because everything comes back to you and how you do your work. It's very funny when I talk to a lot of people. I see people who come in and they're great lawyers, they're great CPAs, they're great technical people. Sometimes they're not so good at the administrative stuff. And that's the billing and the collecting of billing. And I'll say, how's business going? And they're going to say, Lori, everything is great. I had so much work this week. I wish I had time to get my billing done. And there's a big red flag to me because I say, you must get your billing out. It's not a sale until you collect the cash. So I think that successful people make time for billing, or if they know they're bad at the billing portion, they get someone to do it for them. Ask for help if it's not your best option, if it's not your forte. Go out and do what you do best. Let someone else who's good at billing take care of it, because that cost makes sure that all of your wheels are turning, that everything is coming into play, that you're collecting your bills, you're paying your bills, because those are the habits of successful people. Pay your bills, collect your bills. Number one, always, always, always. We're going to talk about connecting. I think that a lot of us now have said, I know that Travis has said in the past too, something about social distancing. We want to be physically distanced, but we don't want to be socially distanced. Connections and community are very important to all of us. What pushes you out of your comfort zone? How are you going to find people who are going to challenge you and make you think about what's next in your business? You need to have a group of professionals like yourself that you can bounce ideas off of. It's very important to get out in the community. Isolation is not good for anyone, and especially when we are working a lot of times on our own. Connect with other people. Get them to understand your idea. Help them to hone the skill of how you're going to sell your products and services. You need to surround yourself with positive energy and people who can help make things happen. That's people with knowledge and influence who are going to give you honest feedback. Please, most successful people and all people who want to be successful really need to connect with others. It's a big part of how we're doing our work, especially today. You know what I found out? That most successful people really love what they do. You can tell on their face when they come in, their energy, they're happy. They incorporate fun into their workspace. Most of them have great senses of humor. You know, I have a philosophy because I own my own business, like so many of the businesses that we represent. And I always tell everybody, you know what? I have to be here every day. I can't quit. My name is on leases. My name is on a lot of different documents and paperwork. So I have to come to work because I need to drive this train every day. But you know what I want? I want to surround myself with people who love to come in and work with people. I always think if you can laugh at it, you can live with it. I want to surround myself with happy people because I know that I'm not going anywhere. I want to work with people who are fun to be with, who have great energy and know about my sense of humor and have a sense of humor of their own. Because sometimes the only thing that we can do is take a minute and have a laugh. When I think about the calm that all of us have known throughout these 39 years of my business, I thought that I would go calmly into this next phase. Little did we know that coronavirus was lurking for all of us, and we were going to have to do something totally different, something that I had never seen before. How are we going to deal with all the things that are coming our way? The last couple of weeks have been really interesting, if I have to say. But we've learned so many new things. We've learned about technology and delivering new kinds of workspace education through the technologies that we have on our desk and through the technologies that we have on our phones and all of the other types of things. This has been a great time for learning. And I think that a lot of successful people are very adaptable. They're calm under the face of pressure. They don't want to become a flappable commodity. We want to be somebody who's going to be upright. Now, we may go home and have a slight, I like to schedule just a little tiny nervous breakdown every once in a while, but then we have to regroup, come back, and show the calm to all of my 24 staff members and to my over 1,000 clients who are asking me a ton of questions that really I have no clue what the answer is in some instances. What am I doing? I'm taking my best guess. We're going to go back to the start of this program and say, we're going to use all of those skills of success because I've had to draw on all of them at this point in my career. But I say, never let them see you sweat. If you can do that, you instill the confidence, communicate more, and keep calm. Whoever told you that failure wasn't an option? I don't know what they were telling you. I think that is bad advice. Failure is always an option. And I think that especially as an entrepreneur, you have to learn to embrace those failures because you may get 5 no's before you get a yes on selling your product or your services. There's going to be things that come up all the time where you may not get the optimum successful answer that you want. And you better learn to love and embrace failure because you're going to need more and more of it as you're going out. Because I think failure has to be a little bit a part of our diet. I think about how I grew my business, bankers and investors, and how many times people said, Lori, no. Well, what can I do? No was an answer, and it was, in fact, a part of a failure. And as we go on, I only say these things. You don't know really what will work. We just got to keep trying. And sometimes that means trying and not getting the answer that we always want. But I always say, fail small, fail fast, and please fail cheap. I don't want to have some big expensive failures on me, but we do have to own them. And I think it's what makes us better, successful business people. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my red flags. in business, because we talked a lot about what I see as a pattern for successful people, but I'm going to give you just a short little list. And if you have any of these behaviors, the time to change it is now, because these are some of the things that lead you down the path and give your clients, the people that you work with, your vendors and your teammates, that gives them just the knowledge that maybe you're not in control of your situation. One of them is to call you and your voicemail box is always full. If you don't use your voicemail box, either disconnect it, make sure that you're emptying it, but to call somebody time after time and their mailbox is always full shows to me that you're not paying attention to your business. The second thing, calls not returned. Because we take a lot of phone calls for people, and as an answering service, we would know that people would call in time and time again. Did you give this person my message? Did you give this person my message? You must return calls. Even right now, if the news is not good, you need to keep on top of it. Right now, I'm calling all my landlords to tell them what we're doing, what we're collecting, what payments we're making. We had to make some payments late because a lot of our businesses were not set up on ACH payments. So when my rent was due, I hadn't collected. And you know what? Everybody has been very, very kind in that they are so appreciative that I'm keeping them apprised and we're doing what we're saying we're going to do. If you get hang up call after hang up calls, they're looking for something, they're looking for someone. A lot of times with us, when we're answering phones, they're looking to talk to that person, and we know, you can tell by the way they bam, hang up the phone and slam down the phone. They're looking for answers and they're not getting it. The next one, Travis, thank you. We sort people's mail. We use their business address here, and we sort a lot of people's mail. Because of it, people are, we see when they don't pick up their mail. They have weeks worth of mail sitting in the mailbox, not a good one. Bills and collection problems, we talked about that. You got to stay on top of those things. And the next one is just late. People who are late, they're late with their bills, they're late with their lunches, they're late for their appointments, they're late getting their projects out. If you're a traditionally late people and people are telling you you're always late, not a good sign, not a good sign. On the end, I'm going to talk to you about what I call the 2 C's. I think that successful people and people who are wanting to start a new business or some of the other ones, you need 2 different things. The first one's your cash. You need to watch your cash. You need to save your cash. I am so happy that I saved cash just for this particular outbreak and pandemic right now. And the second thing is courage. We need courage to get into new things and to build new frontiers. And I think that as a small business person, anyone who's doing work where you want to get ahead, you need to be brave in your outlook. And those are some of the things that I want to say to you is just remember how brave it is, what a new frontier you have out there to always go out and be courageous. In ending, I was just going to say, one of the things, and I think Travis will probably be able to agree with me on some of these things as well too, because in my life there's been times when I'm saying, how is it that I want to diet and lose weight and everything, and I would think I'd love to do everything except diet and exercise. Isn't there like a magic pill or something that I can do? Can I buy something? Can I buy a piece of equipment? And you know what? The thing is you need to diet and you need to exercise, and there's no getting around it. Do you know what successful people do more than anything else? They work hard. They work hard. They plan their work. They make sure that they are at work. They're not taking all kinds of days off. They are focused on their livelihood, and the livelihood, what's going to put bread on the table for my family. So bottom line is, no matter what else you do, successful people work hard. I wish you all the most success. I hope that you have fun in all of your businesses. I hope that you are making a difference to those in your life and your people who are around you, your team. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me today. It has been my pleasure and my very first time that I have done a online where I can't see any of you. So I hope that you'll stay around and ask a few questions. Thank you so much.